everybody, we're off. It's going to be a beautiful day. We need to head down this way through the main channel, and that'll take us out into the main body of the reservoir. And then as we head upstream, we will see the Beckleysville Bridge that we just crossed. Here we're coming out of the cove where the boat launch is to the main channel, and it seems like the wind was just being funneled up into that cove. It's still a little choppy, but it's not so bad out here as far as the wind goes. So I don't have any particular destination in mind. It's just a really pretty day out, and we're going to make our way up here around the bend and follow the shoreline up underneath the bridge and just see what we can see and look at some pretty colors, and maybe we'll get to see some wildlife. Alright, we're approaching the bridge, and some guy is coming through here in a really powerful boat. This reservoir, because it's a drinking water reservoir, is not allowed to use gasoline or any kind of fuel powered motors. It's all electric motors. So believe it or not, this guy that's coming past us fast enough to water ski behind has an electric motor on that boat. So the wake is going to be a lot of fun going over this. I'm going to have to steer into it. Wow. Alright, well that was fun. So we're going to keep on hugging the shoreline up and around the bend, but we'll go out in the middle so we can get some cool looks at the bridge as we go underneath of it. Alright, so we're heading over this way. We're going to get back up against the shoreline out of the wind, and we're just going to make our way on up and along. Enjoy the scenery. are about, I guess, about a mile from the boat launch. And this is a little cove that I sometimes will pull into if it's later in the afternoon and get out of the sun if I need to. Of course, it's a nice cool day out today. So we've come a fair distance since coming underneath the trestle bridge. And what we're going to do now is go on up around this point of land, and then it actually gets really deep and really rocky, and it's a really sheer drop off, and it's really interesting looking. I'm expecting to see some really pretty trees up around the bend, and then we will go up a little further than that and see how I feel. Maybe that'll be the end of the line and we'll turn around and start heading back. Maybe not. Despite being just a few feet offshore here, we are probably in about 25 to 30 feet of water. And through this section right here out in the middle of the channel, it's between 60 and 80 feet deep. If you've watched any of my videos being out at Hemlock Gorge, if we continue heading upstream about 3 more miles, 4 more miles, it's a bit of a paddle. I've never come close to getting there. It might even be further than that, to tell you the truth. But this actually eventually becomes the Gunpowder River. That's, you know, effectively what was dammed up to create this reservoir. There are plenty of little side feeder streams, but the main channel, the main river, was the Gunpowder River. So as it flows through Hemlock Gorge, just downstream of the gorge is where the water starts actually slowing down and beginning to turn into what you would think of as a reservoir proper. So if we paddle far enough upstream, we could actually paddle all the way up into Hemlock Gorge. Of course, we're not going to do that, but the point being is you can definitely see how the terrain is very similar, all of the very steep and jagged rocky structures. So this must have been quite an impressive valley before it was filled with water. It must have had a beautiful river running through the bottom of it, and it was probably miles and miles of rocky gorge. And that's not to be confused with a place called Rocky Gorge in western Maryland, but this probably was indeed a very rocky gorge when it was empty. But it's been filled up for many decades now. So we're just going to go on up here and around the bend and see what we can see, and then we'll see how much further up we go. Once I got the current and the wind at my back, so we can keep going a little bit further. Of course, that just means it's going to be that much more difficult coming back, but you can't have it downhill both ways. Today we're actually going to have a little bit of an explore. I've been up this far before, but I've never been further than this rocky point out here. So today we're actually going to follow the current, and the stream goes up and around the bend. So we're going to cross the channel around this point over here and see what we can see around this next point. Alright, well, it looks like that point just takes us back into a nice cove, and at the bottom of that cove there's probably a small feeder stream that runs into it. So now I believe if we go around this next point out here. Alright everybody, this is about the end of the line, I think. Not really sure honestly at this point whether that is our main channel anymore or that is our main channel, but either way I'm not making that distance of a paddle. We've come far enough. I guess we're probably about 2 miles out, so we are gonna start heading back. Alright, now we actually need to go around that point out there, or possibly even that point out there, but we need to head that away. And I think what we're going to do is stay on this side of the water for a little while and stay out of the sun. And when we get down to this point down here, we'll go ahead and cut across the channel and see where we come out. Well, I was hoping we'd get down around the bend here and out of the wind, but it doesn't feel like we're going to, so I may actually go further across the channel and get in the lee of those trees over there. Down this way is where the bridge is that we need to go under, the Becketsville Bridge. I know it is, but that bridge sure don't feel like it's getting a whole lot closer. Alright everybody, we're just going to pull off over into this little cove for a bit and get out of that wind. We're about 3/4 of the way back, but I've still got quite a paddle ahead of me. So we will stop back here. And I'm going to take a break while I enjoy the scenery.